This is no chance meeting, is it, Gandalf?
No, it is not.
The Arkenstone lies half a world away, buried beneath the feet of a fire-breathing dragon.
Which is why we're going to need a burglar.
Started in a hole in the ground.
And now we're here.
And now we're here. After our long adventure fighting spiders, orcs,
And Legos.
and Legos. An army of Legos! We're talking about not Lord of the Rings. Lego the Hobbit, which only...
That video game.
Yeah, that video game. It covers 2 of the Hobbit movies because it would really piss me off if they covered the 3rd one, I'm not gonna lie. But anyways, I played on the PS4, and I guarantee it looks exactly the same as it did on the Xbox 360.
I'm pretty sure it did.
Because they didn't do any HD upgrades for that fucker, I can guarantee that. It looked exactly the same. Because I remember, because we did the Bloody Time on the Xbox, and was like, wow, this looks pretty similar, guys. I mean, that's cool. It's a Lego game. I wasn't expecting big old particle effects. But anyways, yes, I'm Brendan, that's Nick, and we're gonna be talking about some Legos. Are you a fan of these Lego games?
They're okay.
They're okay. Are you a fan of this Lego game?
Yes.
Yes. I'm a huge... You know what, after I did play this Lego game, you know what I want to do?
Watch the movies?
Yes. You're damn fucking right, I want to watch those movies.
I went in the opposite order.
You watch the movies and play the game?
Yeah, because I bought the second movie. I was like, well, this is an immediate sequel. I can't just watch it without watching the first one first.
I might as well revisit the first one, of course.
Which I'm going to do the same thing when 3 comes out.
Oh god, 3's gonna be awesome. Yeah, this game, it follows the movies verbatim, and honestly...
Well, I'm not verbatim, but...
Well, close to it. I was actually quite amazed though playing these games though, how much more action is actually in the first movie than it is in the second.
Oh, yeah.
I did not realize that, because the second movie seems like it was so much more action-packed when I saw it. I was like, man, that one was really action-packed. I really liked that one. Much more than the first one. Then I played the Lego Hobbit game, and I was just remembering all the shit that happens in the first movie. I was like,
well, you gotta remember,
fuck yeah.
That fight with Azog, not as epic as the game.
It's very true. You fight Azog a lot in this game, actually. You fight him about 3 times, and it's kind of funny. Because I'm just like, damn, how many times can this guy get his ass kicked?
By a bunch of dwarves.
By a bunch of dwarves and a wizard. And
I still laugh, throughout this whole game, Thorin has his Oaken shield. Never has that in the movies.
I think it's funny throughout the whole game, though. I never used the goddamn Oaken shield.
Well, I had it on, but I never actually used it as a shield.
Yeah, they never made me use that as a shield.
Well, if you press B, he...
Oh, does he? Okay, because every time... every time I press circle, he would just, wind up or some shit.
Well, if you hold it, yeah. But if you just press B, he puts a shield
Oh, no
in front.
shit. Alright. This game is very... I had a lot of fun with it. I actually had the most fun in this game, Nick, playing the Lego war scenes. When they had, the first war scene, that was a mere flashback in the movie. It's just a little short 5-minute flashback in the movie.
I didn't think it was that long.
Honestly, 5 minutes of me being generous. In this game, it's a whole fucking level you fighting the orc army in Moria, which still so raises so many questions for this fellowship. My major one is, okay, if over 60 years ago they knew about Moria being all shitty, why the fuck would you think it'd be a good idea? If your other dwarves knew about it there, Gimli, saying oh, my cousin Balin's been there. Well, and Gandalf clearly knew about it. Wouldn't you be like, no, actually they had a big old fight with the goblins and lost? That's all goblin territory, bud. I don't know. Unless there's a couple different Morias I'm not aware of.
Yeah, this is Moria 1, this is Moria 2.
Maybe there's the Mines of Moria, and then there's just Moria. I don't know. But anyways, that was one of my favorite scenes in the whole game. I just love the war. Even though, you weren't in the middle of the battle going, ah! They had a big old circle of just enemies for whatever reason. All the enemies were like, whoa, that's Thorin, let's keep clear. You 6, go in there.
But 2 at a time.
2 at a time. And don't all attack him at once. Kind of focus on his friends, too. I had a lot of fun, though. This game did something the Lord of the Rings did not, Nick. The Lord of the Rings Lego game had you really focus on some certain characters. It had you focus a lot on Legolas, Gimli, and Sam. Because those were the ones with the most...
Not even Aragorn?
No, Aragorn was one of the guys you just go to because he's awesome. He had no abilities that were even useful. They'd make you switch to Gimli to break something like they do in this game a lot.
Yeah, but this one, all the dwarves have, similar powers.
Very similar powers, but you have an excuse to use them all. Thorin has a reason why you should use him because he has,
He's the heavy smash.
Yeah, he has the heavy smash. He has, what was it? Balin actually Balin doesn't have a reason. Dwalin has a reason to use him because he's the one with the big hammer.
Dory has a reason.
Doran has a bigger reason to use him because he's the only one that uses a chain. Bilbo has a reason because he has the ring. For a while there, for a long time in the game though, you have no reason to ever use Bilbo.
No, because you have that one reason to fish.
Yeah, I guess they have the fish, but you only have to do that like twice in the whole game.
Yeah.
It was quite nice though, them giving me an excuse to use all the characters. All the characters, you have to use them all. Like, except for Keeley.
Well, no, Keeley you have to use.
Oh, no, okay, it was, what the other one?
Feely?
Feely.
Feely you have to use too.
What does he do?
He has a shovel.
Oh, yeah, he does have it. You're right, shit! Yeah, you have a reason to use them all. You use Gandalf, you use Radagast, you have to use all the good characters for one reason or another. Even Legolas comes in handy once.
Because you have to use his jump.
You have to use his jump and his bow, because they take away his weapons, the other guy's weapons. But yes, they give all the characters a reason to be used, unlike in, like I said, the original Lord of the Rings, where all the men were basically useless. Like, yeah, you can play as Aragorn and Boromir and all, and Faramir, you can play as all these guys, but you really don't have a reason to. I mean, besides the fact that you like them in the movies. I mean, I almost feel like that's the reason why they didn't give you any reason, because everyone's gonna be, when I played the Lego Lord of the Rings, Nick, I kept just switching to Aragorn. Because I like him. I'm like, he's the hero.
He is. Fuck Frodo. It's Aragorn's story.
No, I can watch the whole movie, just cut out Frodo all together. They're just like, when they're at the end, they're like, Frodo! I'd be like, oh yeah, he was in this. I'll also Merry and Pippin, because actually those two annoy me more.
I do like Merry and Pippin.
I don't. They kind of annoy me. The Hobbit's always annoyed me. I actually like Bilbo's probably my favorite Hobbit, because he's the least annoying.
That's because it's Martin Freeman.
Yeah, Martin Freeman's least annoying and doesn't have so much homoeroticism with him. He's not always just like, I can't do it without you.
It's because he's the only Hobbit in the Hobbit story.
Yes, he's the only Hobbit in the movie, The Hobbit.
That's why it's called The Hobbit.
Yes.
Not The Hobbits.
The Hobbit and 13 Dwarves. Anyways.
And 2 wizards.
And 2 wizards. But anyways, yeah, the game, I also have to say, it does something that I don't think enough games do, Nick. Makes you feel like you're on a fucking adventure.
Yeah.
Can you name me one other game that made you kind of feel like you were on a vast adventure going through different areas and different, things?
Vast adventure.
Skyrim, yes.
It wasn't really an adventure.
Yeah, you're kind of in the same area though. See, this
kind
one,
of walking back and forth.
Yeah.
A lot of walking back and forth.
This one, I mean, it's a bigger scope, which I actually made this joke to you of how in the Lego Lord of the Rings, you'd be like, oh, I'm in Rohan. Oh, I'm in Gondor. Like, it was damn near that quick. You would just, like, ride your horse a little bit, like, oh, there's that iconic scene from the movie. Oh, there's that, and I'm in Gondor. This one, you'll be walking for a little bit before you get to the next area.
Yeah, sometimes, especially right at the end when you're going up to, when you're going up to Erebor.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, that was a long fucking walk.
Yeah, that's why I said, I love how this game actually made...
You actually walk all the way through Dale and up the mountain.
You gotta walk all, and I thought they were gonna make me do something in Dale. No, they just had you walk through. And I was like, oh, well, shit, that's easy. And then afterwards, after I beat the game, Nick, I started trying to collect characters, because I had a bunch of money I didn't spend. So I was like, oh, I'll go find characters. Son of a bitch, that's a pain in the ass. Even with using the Eagles, I still had to do a lot of walking to find them.
And a lot of the characters are like, oh yeah, I need some mithril shards.
Some of them do. That's one flaw I have with this game, is all the side missions, if you can even call them that.
Or just get mithril.
For the most part. They do have some where I did run into one where it's just like, oh, take on this group of orcs real quick. And you just kill 6 of them and they're like, you're good. Or
See, I didn't get that because every time I found one, it's like, oh, I need a mithril flask.
Dude, there was this one weird one where I couldn't tell if it was a dude or a girl. It was like some tranny in a dress just sitting there just singing the whole time. And I was like, what the hell are you? It was like it had a ponytail and a dress but with mutton chops. I'm like, what the fuck is this thing?
I know, the one I saw that, was interesting, was basically this, I found an orc girl in a cave. Mm-hmm. And she's like, did you know orcs used to be elves? And then she's like, I need this thing to do this, and it's made of mithril, and you'll never find it. Later.
Honestly, maybe my mythology's all fucked up, but I thought the Uruk-hai used to be elves.
I mean, they're orcs, so.
The Uruk-hai are not in the books. Urukai are their own fucking
Yeah.
thing. That's something Peter Jackson made up, which,
I know.
high five Peter Jackson, those are my favorite fucking creatures. I don't know why I like the Urukai so much.
Because they're badasses. They're
Motherfuckers.
the fucking Terminators of the orc world.
They are, dude. And when they were gone in the second movie, I know we're just kind of Lord of the Rings talking right now, but goddamn, I like the Urukai, and I was a little sad they weren't in this movie, or this game, which they wouldn't be because they're not at this time. I do have to say, they actually did it much better. Because in the, Lord of the Rings, I have to keep harking back to this, people. I know some people are like, stop talking about the Lord of the Rings game, talk about the Hobbit. But the Hobbit uses the actual lines from the movie. They just dub it in.
They cut a lot. Like,
they don't.
There were some scenes, they completely changed the tone of the scene by cutting out parts and mixing it around and adding in their own Lego humor in the background.
I do agree. They did that worse in the Lord of the Rings. I could tell you a scene that happened in the Lord of the Rings one, where you're sitting there, and how the ringwraiths go in to stab all the hobbits.
Yeah.
Well, basically, Aragorn shuts the doors, puts a broom handle between the door handles, and they're banging on the door, and he's doing his whisper thing of saying, "There were once great kings of men," and he's just whispering while they're banging on the door the whole time. I was like, "What? This scene doesn't make any sense." I can't really think of anything they did in The Hobbit that was like that, though.
Well, I mean, there was all the times that it was co-op.
Oh, okay.
Like
they
having
did.
Ballin at the end.
Yeah, no, they did that. Okay, I do agree. They did that just because they have to make a co-op.
Yeah.
Like, they did that a couple times. Like, where, like, the deaf guy who doesn't speak anything, or the guy doesn't speak any English, let's put it that way, he was helping, Bilbo out try to free all the dwarves from the elves.
Yeah.
That never happened. He wasn't in that scene. He was with the other ones. But, they just did it because otherwise you'd have that moment where that, if you were playing co-op, they'd just be sitting there like, oh, I gotta watch you play now, so they did it, and I think they did it well enough to where it made sort of sense. I do agree towards the end with Ballin, it was just kind of like, wow, it is so weird, because they even have the lines where he's just like, you don't smell like the dwarves. I'm like, actually there's a dwarf while you're here, so you'd be able to smell him just fine. I also have to say, I was so happy to hear Benedict Cumberbatch in this game. I was just like, oh my god, I miss Benedict Cumberbatch.
I just think it's fun. They got Christopher Lee to narrate.
That was amazing. Because Christopher Lee is just narrating the entire time, and that was fucking awesome. I would sit back and just watch them draw on the scene that I'm going to be doing for whatever reason they're showing me that.
Yeah, I usually skip those because it just told me what I was about to do.
I know. I was like, I know what I'm about to do. I've seen the movies, guys. I would not recommend playing this game before they've seen the movies. If you haven't seen the Hobbit movies and you're like, oh, pick up the Hobbit game, for whatever reason, go see the Hobbit movies, because otherwise you're just going to, first of all, you're going to spoil the shit of the movies when you see them. You're going to be like, oh yeah, I know what happens next. I don't know what happens next. But I just feel like you have more enjoyment, though, if you've seen the movies, and you could be like, oh yeah, that's funny. Honestly, I actually laughed out loud with the troll scene for some reason. Just with them just talking, and all of a sudden when they go up to Gandalf, you press triangle to Gandalf, and all of a sudden they're just like, who's he? Can we eat him? And I start laughing at that scene. I've seen that scene like 20 times by now, but for some reason that game, it just made me laugh.
It's Gandalf. I don't know if it was that. No, it was when you're fighting the Goblin King, and you're fighting everything, and you see Gandalf is like, over here! I'm over here! Pick me! I'm over here! Hey!
You think one of the goblins will be like, hey, what's going on over there? The biggest scene that didn't make sense, though, was when you were Bilbo with Smeagol, and they just had that random orc there.
Oh, yeah.
The
goblin?
Yeah, the random goblin. And a fun fact for people who play that scene, and maybe haven't gotten around to finishing it, if you don't play as the goblin, eventually he just gets unknocked out and starts trying to kill you.
Did not know that.
Yeah, he tried to do that once to me, and then I had to hit him again until he's like, oh, I'm all dizzy again. So I was like, triangle. I'm playing as him for now on, so that way I don't have to worry about my own partner turning on me. And as much sense as that fucking made, for some reason they got rid of the whole fact that, Gollum is a cannibal, essentially, who just eats anything. Yeah. But anyways, I enjoyed the shit out of the game. They fixed something that they did, the Lego combat. I don't know if you've noticed about this, Nick. You played Lego the movie a little bit. You played Lego,
Marvel.
Marvel. Lego Marvel, a lot of it was just punching them, right? And they just...
Yeah, and then they start doing their own special...
Yeah, they had their special abilities, and sometimes they had the teamwork moves, I think, if I remember correctly. This game, I love how they do the sword fighting. Because if you, certain enemies, you get in a sword fight with them, all of a sudden you're jamming on square or X, And you're actually seeing them do like a little sword fight there where he knocks out the shield and cuts the...
Yeah, but it was always the same animation.
It was actually, no, it wasn't. Depending on which character you had, they had a different finishing move, they had different animations.
Yeah, but each character, like, it was, like, they never changed it up at all. They were like, some games will have like 2 or 3 of them, this one had 1.
Well, it had 1 for each weapon type. I wouldn't even say a character, because some of the characters have very similar weapons, and they just kind of do the same thing.
Weapon type.
It'd be the weapon type, so if you had,
sword, double sword.
Yeah, double sword, staff, spear, and whatever the hell Bilbo...
Axe.
Axe.
Stick.
And stick, yeah. Bilbo would have or sting. I didn't even think he had I never played as Bilbo, so I couldn't even tell you what his finisher was. But I enjoyed it, though, because it made me feel more like a sword fight instead of just me going, ah! And also when you're in the Goblin Kingdom and you actually get to do the ladder scene, and you're actually going, I was like, that was so cool. I had fun. That is probably the most enjoyment I had just because I've seen the movies and just getting to replay the movies. See, it's just so much fun to me.
My fun and, sort of flaw for me, which, it just made me laugh, but fighting Smaug, a lot of the times is you sneaking around the treasure trove without him, and if he sees you, then he just burns you alive and you start it over. Mm-hmm. Or you just respawn.
You just respawn, yeah.
But, because this game, it's a Lego game, so there's no consequence to death.
Actually, I almost feel like they took out even more consequence to death, because I've died a couple times in this game, didn't even lose coins.
I had that happen a few times.
But
usually, if I'm about to die, I switch to someone else so I don't lose any coins.
You're like, oh, fuck this shit. See ya.
But anyway, you're fighting Smaug, you're crouched down, sneaking really slowly, being quiet, and, while you're doing that, you can also still break things, which isn't quiet at all.
Oh, yeah.
And so,
they make you break things. It's not like you can if you want to.
But the whole time I'm sitting pay no attention to the sound of breaking bricks. That's just a squirrel.
I just love how they're trying to be like, oh yeah, you're trying to sneak around from Smaug, but break this first. Grr, grr. And he's sitting there, where are you? I'm like, are you deaf?
Same thing with the troll. You're 5 feet away from them. Bang, bang, bang!
I know. They're entrenched in their conversation, Nick.
And sneezing.
And sneezing.
Because that one just continuously sneezes until you do what you have to do.
Oh, I never had that, actually, because I don't know. I also have to say one flaw I had with this game, and it's something new they did with this game. The resource collecting.
No, I didn't have a problem with that.
I had a problem with it in certain areas because I wouldn't have enough of one thing, so I had to keep smashing the same box to keep getting the same shit. They're polite enough to not make you backtrack and try to make sure you gathered everything. They'll have the same respawning treasure chest or whatever full of wood that you just keep smashing over and over and over.
See, me, since I was trying to get all the Master Burglar titles in the beginning, which just means collecting 100% coins. Mm-hmm. Even then, that's not as many. So I break everything in the level, and so throughout doing that for the first half the game, mm-hmm. I had enough of everything to pretty much last me the rest of the game.
Oh yeah, they really dumbing these games down because the original Lego game, Nick, to get the Master thing, you actually had to get every single coin.
Oh yeah, no, I remember that from the first Lego Star Wars.
Oh yeah, I am amazed at myself the patience I had, which brings me to this point: if you have a kid around 8 to 10,
and he brings this up every time we do a Lego game.
This is perfect for him, though, Nick. This is perfect for me, because I actually can have fun just going through this game. I almost want to try to 100% this game. Just go through every level.
So.
Yeah, I know it. And I have a blast with it. This, without a doubt, is my favorite Lego game. I
like Lego Marvel.
I had so much more fun with this, Nick. There was not a single point in this game where I got annoyed at all by anything. I just had fun. Nick, the entire game, I just had a smile on my face. I was just sitting there yeah, this is a game for Brandon. This is Brandon's game right here. I don't know. Yeah, besides that, I mean, they did the voice syncing pretty well. They didn't have any awkward scenes, in my opinion, where they were the characters were all being quiet, but yet they had something big going on. I didn't see too many of that. The enemies, like I said, there's no challenge in this game. It's a fucking Lego game, and if you played any Lego game, they kept the damn, Lego booklet thing for some reason.
Because that's so fucking complicated.
It's not complicated, but it's time consuming instead of just holding circle and having them go. I mean, that's all the previous ones did until the Lego Movie came out, and they're like, "Oh no, you got to find the part." I'm like, "Why?
You're just using so many more coins."
It's just filler though.
It gives you so many more coins.
I know it gives you a lot of coins, and that's usually how I'd get halfway up the damn Master Burglar was just making sure I didn't fuck up at all.
And not, okay. What piece do I need? Is it that one? No,
Basically,
that one?
I would sometimes like speed test myself. Like, where is it? Bam! Where is it? Bam! Where is it? Bam! Yeah! Fuck you. And for some reason they had that slow-mo building. I don't understand why they have that.
Yeah.
I know. It's like, why exactly is this here? So that way you could be Nick and just sit there.
Slow. And speed up.
I know. I just kept holding the right trigger every time. I just, put it together fast, because I don't care. Anyways, any closing thoughts with this?
Nope.
Yeah, it's a fun game, honestly, for all ages. This is the perfect game to sit down with your kids and play, because you would have a fun time with it. Like, you had kids and you're like, man, I really dug those Hobbit games. And your kid's like, yeah, Dad, I really dug those too. You'd be like, shut up! And then you just pop it in and you start playing it. It's a blast. It's something it's a game I'd go back to. What would you give it?
3.
3.5. Wow. I'll give it 4.5. Yeah, apparently you didn't like this as much as I did, I guess.
No.
God, I really had fun with this. Maybe I just, I don't know why. I can't even explain it besides the fact that it really felt like I was going on an adventure and, I had the Bilbo moment. I'm going on an adventure!
So there were some parts I was just like, okay, come on, seriously.
Like what?
Like, getting into Balon's house.
Oh. Yeah. Or even the beginning at Bilbo's house where you had to do that weird minigame of washing his dishes. That was a little weird.
I didn't mind that part. It's just,
I kind of wish they would actually sing the song, though. I was like,
I was really hoping they would. Or that and the Misty Mountain.
Oh, what Misty Mountain? Like them singing the Misty Mountain song? No, I didn't want them to sing that. I didn't like that fucking scene. Back when he's just sitting there, I'm like, shut up. Anyways, yeah, that is it. Agree with Nick, give it a meh score. Agree with me, give it a positive score. I guess yours is positively meh.
It's positively meh.
Positively meh. I love the shit out of it. Nick thought it was alright, so, agree with us, disagree, let us know what you think about this game. Let us know if our reviews are helping you decide which games you want to purchase. They might. I don't know.
They're very varied lately.
Yeah, they are. I dig that though, because at least we're getting a very varied opinions now. Instead of both of us being like 3 stars, 3 stars. Just every game we do or whatever. So I enjoyed it. If I say if you buy it, you're gonna have hours of entertainment. So that is it. Have fun, everybody, and don't forget, we're going on an adventure!